It hasn't even been 2 weeks. And we already are hearing disrespect towards the GOAT. Disrespect towards the legacy of Tom Brady. Disrespect towards the career of Tom Brady. We already have people trying to knock him off the GOAT pedestal that he fought his entire career for. 7 rings. And we're willing to already say that some 27-year-old quarterback that has 2 Super Bowl rings is the greatest of all time based on the pixie dust argument of being more talented, whatever that means. I shouldn't be surprised because, of course, Michael Jordan has dealt with this for a very long time. There was contestant after contestant after contestant who came up and fell to the Michael Jordan legacy. And I'm expecting no different as a Tom Brady fan, but it's just ridiculous. Like, not even Patrick Mahomes would say he's anywhere close to Tom Brady, especially at this point. Don't get me wrong. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as an all-time great. He's already in very rare territory for a quarterback, and he very well may become the greatest of all time, but he is years away from ever having an argument whatsoever. But here's my problem. The bar for our judgment of greatest of all time has shifted so drastically in recent years. And I love this tweet from Sarah Marshall. She says that, remember when Brady won 3 Super Bowls by age 28 and everyone said he was no Joe Montana? She says, remember when he won his 4th and everyone still said Joe was better because he never lost a Super Bowl? Remember when he won his 7th and people were still declaring that he wasn't the GOAT? And she says, Mahomes wins 2 and is the GOAT. This really, really bugs me because this is so true. It's so true, it pains me. Because Tom constantly was compared to Joe. Constantly. For Patrick, he's going to be constantly compared to Brady. And that's fair. That's what we do in the sports media landscape. It's fun to talk about. I get it. We love comparisons. And we love seeing greatness. It was constantly a hurdle that he had to overcome. I'm not sure why this was. I'm not sure if that was because of the Belichick thing, if it was because of the phony defense argument, if it was because of the competition he faced in his era, like Peyton Manning, maybe because he wasn't the human highlight reel that a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes is. Why now are so many people willing to accept that Patrick Mahomes is already greater than Brady simply because he has 2 rings, 2 MVPs, both less than Tom Brady? Way, 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 way far away from ever conquering his career accolades. But all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes, for some, is already considered the GOAT. And this, to me, is a big problem we have right now in the sports media, social media space. Because there's those that shouldn't have an opinion, that have an opinion, and have a large following, that just kind of provide this narrative that is built upon really pixie dust, nothing at all. And there's so many dumb idiots online. And I'm not trying to hate on Theo Ash here, but it all spews from hatred. He tweets something like 2 more minutes until we never have to hear about Tom Brady again. That's just a pure hater comment. And then he says 2 real rings versus 0. Okay, buddy. Continue to do you, man. And I believe he's also ranked Peyton Manning above Tom Brady in the recent past. So that just tells you what he knows about the history of football. So we're having people that never even witnessed Tom's entire career, or even close to it, or even his prime physically, trying to put Mahomes or any other quarterback above Tom Brady because of hatred, because they don't believe that a guy like Tom Brady, who doesn't run a 4.5 or doesn't throw the ball off platform in a cool style, should be the GOAT. Like, everything about Tom Brady and what made him special came from here and came from here. And for whatever reason, when people don't have that work ethic, they don't respect it. I don't know what it is. Patrick Mahomes would have to do something that we've never seen before. And this is why. Patrick Mahomes is probably going to go on to break every record known to man in terms of passing yards, passing touchdowns, completion percentage, whatever, passer rating, doesn't even matter. Whatever he does, right? And he will because of the era he's playing in. Remember, Tom Brady early in his career played in an era that was closer to the 80s and the 90s of football. Statistically, offensively, defensively, the hitting was different, the physicality was different, the offenses were different, schemes were different. The game was closer to what Joe Montana played in than what Brady played in early in his career. To compare Brady's early career to Patrick's early career, you have no idea or concept or understanding how different football is now. That is just wild. Out there, and you don't understand football, period. Patrick's going to go on to break those records most likely with any sort of longevity because of the era. And that's cool. He can have those. But here's the thing. Unless Patrick Mahomes wins 8 Super Bowls, he's never really going to have a claim to be better than Tom Brady. And it's because he lost the 2 playoff games and the 2 biggest games they played against each other. Tom smacked him. His team smacked the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And then Brady, later in his career, in both of these games, was able to outduel Mahomes. In his backyard in the AFC Championship, not as the number 1 seed. He went to Arrowhead and won the game in overtime. In his 40s, never mind his 30s, his 20s, he did it in his 40s, which speaks to the longevity of Tom Brady. And that's the thing with Mahomes. We're already seeing this guy get hurt every so often. Is he going to be able to last that long and be able to get to that level of longevity where he has a chance to win 7, 8 Super Bowls? Very unlikely. You know, people have no idea how historic what Brady did. There's no real sense yet because we've just seen it. These 23 years or whatever it was have just happened. So we have no context for how special it truly was, what we witnessed with Tom Brady. But those that know the history of the NFL understand how great Tom Brady was and what he accomplished was and how his career may never be surpassed. Because it's likely Mahomes goes on to win 3, 4 Super Bowls, 2 for the rest of his career. That's what Bradshaw did. That's what Montana did. Anything past 4 rings would be very impressive in my opinion, and that's where you could say he's the second greatest of all time. And he very well may do that, right? But to simply base an argument on talent has always bugged me because talent is artificial. Talent can't be judged. Talent, what is it? What is it? And that's what has always bugged me about sports. Sports are not about talent. Sports are about production. Sports are about the end result, and sports are about winning. If you've ever played sports, you would know that. So for me, it just has to stop. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's disgusting. We're better than that. As a sports media, as a sports fan base, NFL fans, football fans, Pats fans, Chiefs fans, all of us are better than that. Give it time. Okay? We can compare. That's cool. That is cool. That is fun. But let's not make these stupid statements. Please. Because it's just going to drive me insane. It's just going to drive me insane. And I don't want to be insane. Speaking of comparison, in their first 3 Super Bowl appearances, remember, Tom Brady won 3 rings by the age of 28 and did not lose a playoff game until his 11th appearance in the playoffs. How special is that? 3-0 in the Super Bowl, 735 yards. In that era I discussed, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. You see the stats in front of you. 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Mahomes 5-4 ratio, 2-1 record, 3 more yards, less yards per attempt. And let's not pretend that on the biggest stage, Patrick Mahomes has outperformed Tom Brady. Even at the beginning of Tom Brady's career, Brady was more impressive in those games. So, let's stop the comparison in terms of Mahomes is greater than, Mahomes is the GOAT. Let's more discuss it in terms of what does he have to do to become it. Let's not talk about he already is. Please, stop disrespecting Tom Brady. Thank you.